Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here and welcome to another video. And the big question in this video, how on earth are WWE going to bring back Edge when he returns yet again? Now I know that Edge has got a part-time contract, so he appears sporadically within WWE television. However, he's a major over character in WWE still at the ripe old age of 48. I mean, you think at Clash at the Castle, I mean, I was there, hearing the pop was deafening. The most over superstar, you could say, in that arena, with the exception of Drew McIntyre, for obvious reasons, was Edge. Like, hugely over. So you got to think there's big plans for when they bring back Edge. And my question goes all the way back to the summer. Now, we saw those cryptic video promo teasers and we covered them a lot in this channel, and there are a lot of links. Again, this is more of our fantasy booking type scenarios with The Fiend, Bray Wyatt returning, and this absolutely popped on the internet. People were genuinely intrigued. Now, a lot of people felt it was daft, like why on earth would you have Edge associated with The Fiend? However, there were seemingly a lot of clues in those cryptic videos. We saw the number 6 shown a number of times, so we assume that could link with Wyatt 6. And the whole feel of those promos had a Bray Wyatt vibe, didn't they? It was hard to ignore. And yes, ultimately what happened was Edge returned at SummerSlam and took out the Judgment Day, helping Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio beat the Judgment Day. So he helped them do that. He then beat the Judgment Day at Clash at the Castle. Say what you like about Dominic's heel turn, they still beat Judgment Day, and then Edge was literally beating down Dominic Mysterio on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. And yes, the numbers game caught up on him and Judgment Day destroyed him and have put him on the shelf again. However, how many times can you keep bringing back Edge and changing his gimmick? What was the original plan back before SummerSlam? Plans would definitely change. There's no way that WWE would try to insult our intelligence by putting that much effort into the cryptic promos for it just to be Edge returning as the rated R superstar. It makes zero sense, it insults our intelligence, and we want answers as WWE fans. Now, was this Vince had a vision initially? Because the transition between the Vince era and the Triple H era, timing wise, seems to fit in this point. Did Vince have an idea for Edge and then Triple H changed things last minute and then decided to ignore those cryptic promos? Who was in that door, that padlocked door? Like, what on earth is going on? You can't just insult our intelligence by bringing back the rated R superstar as over as he is. So logic says, yes, Edge came back to get revenge on Judgment Day. He's kind of done that, hasn't he, really, when you look at it? Yes, he's been pulverized once again. However, bringing him back begs a lot of questions. And I know a lot of you want to see questions answered. You want The Fiend to return alongside Edge, which does feel like a bit of a misfit. But if you think about Edge as beaten down, broken down, and he really truly wants to put Judgment Day in the grave, you're going to turn to the dark side. You're going to turn to someone with supernatural powers, someone that you're going to win no matter what. Could that person be The Fiend? Now, my question with that would be, what would the logic be for The Fiend to go after Judgment Day? I mean, yes, we're looking at it, it's a dream booking fantasy scenario. You could chuck in Alexa Bliss into the mix as well there, something like that. But then again, it's got to have some form of logic with it. And I know we've got the whole fantasy match staring us right in the face there of Demon Finn Balor versus The Fiend. But for me, it just doesn't feel like an ideal fit for The Fiend to come back alongside Edge to take on the Judgment Day. Like, they're going to want to establish the Judgment Day as a dominant faction. They're going to want to actually get some wins under the belt of the Judgment Day because their win record isn't that great at the moment. And I think Judgment Day are missing that strong leader. Maybe someone like a Seth Rollins. I'm not saying Seth Rollins joins the Judgment Day because I don't think he needs it, to be honest. He's above that and he's made his intent clear to go after Roman Reigns. But maybe they need someone that's a little bit more established. Arguably, the most over talent in Judgment Day and the most credible talent in Judgment Day is Rhea Ripley. She's only 25 and she's got an amazing future behind her. She should be in the main event scene in the women's title, taking on a Bianca Belair, for example. Kind of feel like she's held back a little bit in the Judgment Day. Loving how she's building Dominic Mysterio, but maybe not loving what that's doing for Rhea Ripley's singles career. because she was a main event act, and now she's in this stable seemingly not taking on anyone and just beating up a lot of guys along the way, which is great fun to see, but it has its limitations. Yes, there's whole Eddie Guerrero China vibes we get with Rhea and Dominic, but I really want to see him get taken to the next level now, and I don't think bringing back The Fiend and Edge together with others involved to destroy the Judgment Day would be wise, because you're going to want to keep the Judgment Day strong, aren't you? So I think maybe, and I mentioned this in my previous video, bring back Edge alongside Riddle, alongside Orton. Rated RK Bro, that would be so cool. You could have that friction, I'll chuck in Beth Phoenix by the way as well to equalise the numbers, and you could have that friction between Edge, Randy Orton and Riddle. And I mean that Riddle is a bit intimidated or feels a little bit left out, feels a bit jealous of the chemistry now that Edge and Randy have, flickering back all the way to rated RKO. And let's not of course forget that Randy Orton and Edge had a pretty bitter rivalry, so they're going to kind of need to tie up some loose ends there if they were going to perform as a cohesive unit alongside one another and alongside Riddle. But I like the idea of a jealous Riddle gets fed up with Edge and Randy Orton, and Judgment Day kind of go over in this sense and move on and have another feud. I mean, there's so many feuds they could have. Imagine Judgment Day against the Bloodline. Imagine a returning Wyatt family against the Judgment Day or the Bloodline. There is so many possibilities, but for me, get Edge back is the lane at the moment that fits in best. Is just that babyface massive overall alongside Riddle and Orton would be a good way logically to bring him back. If you're going to turn him again to the dark side, yes, if you're going to clear out those cryptic promos, that makes sense, but it doesn't really fit, does it? The Edge character at the moment. A Brood version with a little bit of a twist would be kind of cool, but not full on dark version. Then allegedly Edge wasn't happy about going down a supernatural gimmick route at one point anyway, so it's highly unlikely, isn't it? But what's your thoughts and opinions? How would you bring back Edge to WWE? Would you have him, how would you have him take on the Judgment Day? Would you have him take on the Judgment Day? All your thoughts and opinions welcome. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, be really appreciative if you could like the video, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in another video.